Well, good morning, guys, and welcome to Car Stereo Lab. That's right, we're back in the lab. Now, some of you guys caught the Car Stereo Lab / Sony Part 3, where we put the 9500 in the dash, and we talked about that, and we had talked in that video about this here, like, it's missing the A-pillars. Why? Why is it missing the A-pillars? And that is because we're going to take advantage of one of the features that are built into the 9500, which is an active front stage. And speakers we're going to be using to do that is what we're going to be talking about today. So stay tuned for Car Stereo Lab. Here we go again in the new Volkswagen Taos. It's going to be fun. Join me at the bench. Watch the intro. Oh yeah, Fernando, how are you?
Oh, fantastic.
You doing good?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Hey, man.
All right, whatever. Let's go. These are the Morel Tempo Ultra 6.5-inch components, and these are what are going to go in the lab. So let's take a look at what we glean from this speaker box. Two-way 602 component system. Flipping it up on its side, we get a visual of the speakers, and this is telling us we're going to have some passive crossovers. It's also telling us these are the Mark IIs. On the back side, drawing of the speakers. If we turn it over to the end here, we get some information about it. Magnet system type on the woofer is a high-grade ferrite magnet. On the tweeter is a neodymium. Voice coil diameter for the woofer is 1.5 inches. That's actually pretty big. The tweeter is a 1.1 inch tweeter. Frequency response is 55 to 22,000. Mounting depth is 2.56 for the woofer. Voice coil wire is copper. Impedance at the crossover is going to be 4 ohms. Sensitivity 90 dB. Maximum power handling is 250 with RMS at 130. Bit more realistic number there. The other side has the exact same information. That means it's time to open the box. Inside we have the Morel owner's manual. Morel is, well, they do really informative owner's manuals as far as the information that you have on the speakers. So for example, all that information that we just gleaned from the box is in here in the owner's manual. It also gives you the instructions on how to install the tweeter, a basic diagram of the wiring for the crossover, of course more instructions for installing the tweeter. Very nice. You also get a giant Morel sticker. Who doesn't love stickers? Next up is the speaker itself. Now, we've already taken one of the tweeters out for some measurements, so that is why it's missing. We'll take this one here so we can give you the full experience of unboxing the tweeter. Let's take a closer look. Tweeter comes in a bag, and it comes in the flush mount already. Push the tweeter out from the back. This is Morel flush mount. It has this cool little lip. It's actually really nice. It is round in the back, so you just cut a standard hole and then this goes in. And you kind of work the directions so that you can get a different aiming of the tweeter for you. We're not going to be using that, putting these in a factory location. There is a grill for the tweeter, so depending on how you're going to mount it, you don't have to worry about it. But as you saw, there is this cool little tri-path cover that goes over that giant luscious silk soft dome. Oh my gosh, yes. On the back of the tweeter also gives us a bunch of information. Tells us it's a 1.1 inch voice coil, 80 watts, 4 ohm, 90 dB. Frequency response 1800 to 2200. I wish every manufacturer did this. Taking a closer look at the mid-range, the rubber surround goes all the way from the cone here all the way out to this area here. That means that this is one big solid piece of glued down material, which is really nice. A treated cloth cone. We can see the cloth here on the back, treated here on the front. The dust cap is also, look at that. Ooh, you can't even dent it. It's also like a rubber style dust cap, which is really nice. Yeah, that's cool. It says Morel silk screened over the top of it. I love when manufacturers do that. I'm all about pimping your name. Turning it over to the back side, it has this screen over the vented pole piece. I will say in certain applications we have had to remove this, so it does come off if need be. It will never go back on, but this is to help keep the debris out of the back of the speaker here. It does add about an 1/8 inch mounting depth to it, so if you're really close, these will come off. We have a sticker that wraps around the magnet. It says Morel. It also gives us our serial number. Morel likes using nice style speaker connectors. They're just not those chintzy cardboard ones or fiberglass ones. It's an actual plastic covered, really nice, so you're not gonna bend it, break it, and whatnot. The basket is stamped with Morel logos on it, so there is no mistaking that this is a Morel, other than the fact that it sounds amazing. Also in the box, we have the 2 passive crossovers. Now for this installation, we will not be using these, but that doesn't mean we're not gonna talk about them. The Tempo Ultra uses a universal crossover, meaning it works the same for the 502, the 602, and the 692. If you look at at the end here it says positive in, negative in, and then the next 3 terminals are your positive tweeter terminal. If you want it -2, 0, or +2 dBs of adjustment, it's done by just moving the positive to one of these connections. Next up is the negative for the tweeter. So you're gonna either connect it here, or connect it there. And of course the woofer, positive, negative are all the way out here on the other side. This crossover is not made to come apart. There's no reason to actually take it apart. It does have clips here on the back if you're one of those like, I just want to see what's inside, but you don't need to. Digging into the box a little bit further, we have a standard old school style flush mount. If you're not feeling the cool little angled one, you do have the standard. There is some speaker terminals, and then we have this guy here, which is gigantic, and this is the angle mount. This is designed to like maybe put in the corner of your dash, somewhere on your door, and how it works is it's 2-piece. This sits here in the top of it just like this and gives you that nice look. So this allows you to come up with some different mounting applications for it, and it screws in through the front here. Your wire runs through it. For the last mounting option, we have this little cup right here, and this is just simply for the tweeter to snap into place and go for a really basic angle mount. There's also a bag of screws for mounting the speaker into place. There's a lot of stuff that comes inside of this box. We have lots of plastic and bags and stuff like that. The goal here is to get these mounted into the A-pillar. We've already done some of the back end work at it. Let's check them out, and I'll kind of walk you through what we've come up with to get these into location and the hurdles that it is for mounting it into the lab. VW, they don't make things easy, that is for sure. This Taos didn't come with factory tweeters in the A-pillar, but they do make the option for it because there's a Beats by Dre system that you can get, which means I can order a set of factory A-pillars that already are done for me. They're not going to stay this way, but for timing purposes, because we have somewhere we need to go and we're going on a road trip and we just wanted to get these in. But this is also a really great way for you to add tweeters without just destroying your A-pillar, is check to see if the manufacturer has a tweeter option. In this case, both of these cost me about $100, and believe it or not, it actually comes with the factory tweeter attached to it. And that is where the problem comes in, believe it or not. Volkswagen plastic welds their tweeter into this mount here, which means in order for us to get this off, we have to cut these out, and that's kind of the problem. Because once you remove it, what you end up with are these shorter tabs that, well, it's gonna make adding a tweeter to this a little bit fun. Not impossible, but we have a plan for it. The idea is that because it is the lab, we are gonna be changing the tweeter out from time to time. So we found the biggest tweeter that we could that is gonna go in this location. I mean, we can't go too big because it has to be within these points. So we looked and we figured, okay, it needs to be so big. Then we figured out, okay, so how do we attach to here, and how are we gonna make it so that we can swap in and out tweeters when we need to? And that led us to this ring here. So this was the prototype ring that we first came up with to do this, and this is a giant hole here in the center, and these squares match up to these squares, and then these circles here will be where we can add thermal nut certs so that we can unscrew and screw in tweeters. And if we put it into place here, we can kind of get an idea of how it's going to go. Now we made it out of clear for a reason, because this is the prototype and we want to be able to see through it what it's going to hit, where there might be a problem, so it just makes it easy to do that. And the thought we came up with is we will add epoxy to these, epoxy around to the side, and just basically reattach this to the car so that we can unscrew and screw a mount. And that finished product looks like this here. And we switched to black because we no longer need a prototype and we know this will be a final piece. We added in the thermal nut certs to make it easy to take in and out, and now this will sit just like this. This is the tweeter we're going to be putting in, and if we compare the two, we can see this is not, you know, this is just gonna fall through here, which is what we kind of figured would happen. But if we go to a bigger tweeter, we want to make sure that will fit. For right now though, we have these luscious Morel tweeters that are gonna go in there. The idea is, how do we go from here to there? There had to be an idea involved in that. And the other thing too is, when we put this in here like so, we have a lot of room to go down. This is up kind of high, but where the tweeter is, it's actually pushed in. There's way more depth in the center area than there is on the outside area. So we know that we have room for this to go down in there pretty far, and if we set it in there, we get an idea like, oh my gosh, we can really get that tweeter up against that grill so we can push all of the sound out, which is great. That led us to building this piece here. Now this piece is made out of 3 pieces of 1/8 inch acrylic, and it is very thinly cut. As you can see, this is barely a 1/16 of an inch, and the one behind it is, this is tapered, is actually smaller. And what this is designed designed to do is this tweeter here will snap into place just like this. It pushes all the way up to the front lip of the tweeter's mount. Now the tweeter is totally surrounded and in place. This isn't gonna fall out. This is in there really well. But this is me we're talking about. So that means I'm not gonna be happy with this because God forbid you hit a big bump and the tweeter falls out. No big deal there. So we've printed another one, and this back piece here is modeled after the back of the Morel tweeter, because the Morel tweeter is quite a unique tweeter. It has this little ear here, little ear here, and then the way the wires come in. So it has a lot going on, and this piece is designed to go into the back of it and set flush with the back, and we know our mount already sits flush like this, so when it all goes together all these holes will line up, and then we can just simply screw it into place here. This gives us the working idea of what we can do for the future. But before we get to the future, let's take a look at how we've assembled this and the steps it takes to make this little guy here.